The founding of the Galveston County Food Bank is definitely a God story. So the story is that an individual named Mark Davis woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning and felt like the Lord told him to go to Denny's and have breakfast. And so he went to Denny's, and while he was at Denny's, he met a pastor named Bill Ritter. And as they got to talking, they both realized they had a passion for specifically food insecure seniors, and realizing that lack of food for seniors was an issue on the island. And so both of these Galveston Island resident men, they talked and together decided to do something about it. So the Galveston County Food Bank was first called Gleanings from the Harvest, and it was founded right here in Galveston with the goal to service seniors in need. And it was called Gleanings from the Harvest because the concept comes from scripture of how the farmers would leave the outer edge of their plots of land, would leave produce or leave the harvest on the outer edge so that people that had need could come and pick the edges. And so that was the concept behind the food bank, was for us to glean from those who had excess so that we could give to those who were in need. So a food desert is lack of access to nutritional food. So there's something it's called a food oasis, and that's where there's an abundance of produce, an abundance of healthy food items and choices that are affordable. And then we have something called food swamps, and that is something where there's an abundance of fast food restaurants and unhealthy food choices, or maybe not affordable food choices. And so a food desert would be a place where there's just lack of access, periods.
You have food deserts here on the island where you have the grocery stores are within especially on the 61st and Randall's and Kroger close together on one side of the island. Then you have Arlen's on the other, but in the middle part, or sometimes what we call north of Broadway, really it becomes a food desert. It becomes very difficult. If you don't have transportation for food, then you're really at a disadvantage.
So in Galveston, a big issue is transportation.
If you carve out on the north side of Broadway in that 23rd to maybe 38th Street, and then come over on the other side of Broadway, carve out a little area there, it's a substantial number of people. And it's several miles to actually go to the store. And I do know a number of people actually spend money for taxis to take them, and that's difficult. And it's difficult to ride the bus because you can only carry so many bags, and it takes a long time, so dairy products are going to spoil.
So what food insecurity looks like in a person's home could be that they're having to make a trade-off between paying medical bills, paying rent, paying utilities, having to make those difficult choices. And food insecurity, it could be short-term or long-term. So a family might be food insecure 1 month because a parent has lost a job, and so they need help with food, during the month because they lost a job. Or, somebody could even have a really nice paying job, but if you have a medical issue that comes up in your family and you're having to pay for prescriptions and paying medical bills, well, easily that can result in food insecurity. Our goal at the food bank is to take hunger off the table. There's so many other expenses that people have to worry about, and so we don't want hunger to be something that holds somebody back. We address food insecurity in Galveston is through our partner pantries. So we currently partner with 3 different pantries and a meal site here in Galveston to provide food access.
And they do this through all the different distributions. Of course, there's one here at Moody Methodist Church between Central Methodist Church and Moody partner on. That's one, is to actually come to the area. There are several other distributions in the city, but then also the Galveston Food Bank is working on trying to go to smaller neighborhoods with smaller vehicles because not everyone has transportation to all these different distribution sites.
The intention of the Neighborhood Mobile Truck program is to a mobile food distribution is a really big event for people who have cars and transportation can make it there, but not everybody has transportation. And so to overcome that obstacle, we want to be able to bring the food closer to them. We call them the boots on the ground. Like, we cannot do anything without our partners. So people like Moody Methodist Church, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent's House, all these organizations make it possible for us to bring food to Galveston. So can't do it without volunteers and our partner organizations.
Well, most recently, just going with a couple of the food distributions, when you see people that just get down to work and move the corn, move the tomatoes, move the potatoes, and then other items, and of course we all have masks on, and you can't, but you have some conversation. It's just amazing the camaraderie that happens in some ways, the spur of the moment. But then when you watch people actually take it to the cars and see that, all you see are faces of gratitude and thank you. So it is, there's no judgment that goes on. The person goes to the car, how many families? And you just, yes, 2 loads here and so forth. It's really great.